It is inevitable that every gacha game eventually shuts down. Wuthering Waves one day is going to shut down. Genshin Impact one day is going to shut down. Every single game will shut down. There's no escaping that eventuality. But every single game should at the very least release in a state that everyone can play. A game that is as highly anticipated as this game was for me and a lot of my community should not have shut down before releasing globally. I cannot wrap my head around why on God's green earth would they shut down before allowing us to consume what was going to be such a goddamn fun game. 2 years, god damn, 2 years ago. When did this happen? When did I upload this video? You know what? Doesn't even matter. Over 2 years ago, I did a video titled Genuinely the Most Impressive New Gacha of 2023 so far. The game titled Fellow Moon Crescent Moonwalker. This game had beautiful character models. It had, and these are, by the way, old character models. These are old images. This is an old trailer. The game was actually overhauled quite significantly between the first trailer release back in 2023 and then the version that we ultimately ended up getting, what, in 2024 or 2025, whatever this game ultimately released. I don't even know. I think it was several months ago in China, and then they may have released in other regions in Asia. But I was just so unbelievably excited for this game because it offered a unique aesthetic and a style of gameplay that just wasn't really very popular or prevalent. And then, out of nowhere, Fellow Moon announces end of service. We probably won't get a global version now. We probably won't get we definitely won't get a freaking global version now. No way do we get a global version when China has decided, you know what, it's not worthwhile. And I know, using the Gacha Revenue website, this is pure speculative statistics, but it's still a means with which to see trends where you can see an incline or a decline. It looks like when it released at the end of 2024, it made millions of dollars, and then it tanked pretty quickly. I don't know what happened here between January and April, but it spiked back up to like roughly $1 million and then just dipped off again. I don't know if this is just a tracking issue or genuinely no one really spent any money on it, or maybe the for whatever reason the game went down. And then in August through September, it made $1.5 million, $500,000, and then a little under $500,000. So it made millions of dollars over the latter half of 2025 until it ultimately says here that they only made $140,000. This was a 65% decrease over the previous month's 33% decrease from the previous month's 60% decrease from $1.5 million. Now, that is bad. I mean, like, tracking revenue with such a substantial decline is no doubt grounds for end of service. I don't know if they just decided to give up, or if the game itself wasn't very profitable, or just ultimately wasn't very good, or they just weren't pushing out very much content, or, I mean, I never played it in China. But nevertheless, this was a game that a lot of people were very eagerly anticipating and hyped for. And I think this is also just goes to show how competitive the market is in China. Like, dude, look at how beautiful this artwork is. It is insane. I can't believe they're shutting this down. Is that Cardathea? Holy fuck, it's Cardathea. Okay. I was looking forward to giving it a try. It looked so promising. It looked very visually stunning. I was hoping it would launch global. What is the reason? Not enough money? From the thread I saw, has nothing to do with gender ratios, okay? None of these actually have 1-to-1. They both had more female characters. FM revenue continued dropping when they resorted to release even more female characters in recent months, so they tried going the female character route, didn't work. According to Chinese forums, Fellow Moon died because, 1, development cost was too high. That is interesting, but it was a very high quality looking game. 2, the mother company behind them recently had some major revenue issues. I mean, that also stems from the cost being too high and them not being able to afford it. 3, its revenue had been dropping fast because of bad power creep issues. It had nothing to do with gender ratios. I mean, that's good to know, but at the same time, that just means that they had bad balancing. That just means at the end of the day, if this is to be believed, and no one here is saying it is to be believed, that it is entirely factual, If that is the case, and that means the entirety of their issues stemmed from their own incompetence. They just had issues balancing the game, and ultimately people didn't spend. The power creep got too bad. More people didn't spend. And then the game dried up all over the course of a 1-year period. God damn. Yo, I don't mean to interrupt the video, but I need to take a moment here to thank all my incredible patrons over on Patreon whose support continues to allow for me to do regular videos like this every single day on this channel. Thank y'all so much, including our YouTube channel members. You guys mean the world to me. So do you guys as viewers as well. Now, without further ado, let's continue. To go from this, the #1 on the App Store, to end of service in a little over a year is sad. Also, it seems that Do at Night Abyss doom posting is running rampant there because they're releasing Gooner skin. Rampant where? What do the people in the original thread have to say, though? Okay, so Fellow Moon officially launched on August 7th, 2025 for Japan, Korea, Taiwan. That makes sense because the August 2025 revenue was $1.5 million at 600,000 downloads, and then people quickly gave up. Yep, so they played it for like 2 months and then pretty much gave up. It was published by Garena. Game was first released in 2024. So basically, it's shutting down in a little over a year in China. It's not shutting down in Japan, Korea, or Taiwan yet, but I would assume it would be pretty soon. Resident Solstice is also in danger, and Do at Night Abyss will also be in danger if they pivot to fan service in 1.1. Oh, this is what the guy was talking about. How the okay, yeah, that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. I was waiting for global release, and then this happens. What happened? The market is oversaturated, and the competition is brutal. I mean, that's very true. Hey, I see mentioning Black Beacon. Yep. I mean, you know what? At the end of the day, if you just call it quits and you move on to a new game, then at the very least, you don't go the Black Beacon route, where now people don't trust you as a studio and they believe you're incompetent. In this case, they're just like, well, you know, the devs fucked up and they moved on to a new game. In Black Beacon's case, they're like, nope, they essentially, they took advantage of us, they abused us, and they treated us like crap. So now people aren't going to trust them for a new game. There is an official tweet made over on the Japanese Fellow Moon Twitter. Dear Commanders, thank you very much for your continued support. Today we would like to share with you the latest decision regarding the suspension of updates for the Chinese version of Fellow Moon by the development team, as well as the future direction for the Japanese version. While development on the project as a whole will cease going forward, we will continue to carry out version upgrades and maintenance according to the established schedule, delivering the content currently available in the Chinese version up to the final version in sequence. By doing so, we aim to ensure that all commanders can experience the full story of Fellow Moon to the very end, as well as a planned update schedule. Okay, so they're gonna go from where they are now up until the end. Details and subsequent versions and event information will be provided sequentially prior to each update. That is genuinely a shame. It is. That's a very, very good looking game that ultimately apparently wasn't too good. And unfortunately for Japan, for Korea, for Taiwan, they are essentially existing on borrowed time because they already know that their life is finite, that they have an end in sight, and once they reach that point, that's it. End game. The subreddit is just filled with major WTF moments. Yeah, everyone is in shock, genuinely, and that is warranted. This, holy crap, what a catastrophic failure. To say I'm disappointed would be an understatement. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you're not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.